Hey guys, Magi Mace here. We're going to be doing a Mass Effect Monday video. I know it's pretty late. I want to apologize. I've actually had a lot of problems with my internet lately, and I haven't been able to stay connected for that long. It's been going in and out, so I wasn't able to really even play too much this weekend at all. And then I also wasn't able to upload a video as well. But today we are going to do a video. I'm just going to kind of run through my main character that I play as, and I'm going to go through the build of it and give you some ideas and tips and tricks on how to play as this character, and also what weapons you can use to maximize your output on the battlefield. So as you can see, we're playing as the Asari Adept. It is an uncommon character, so it's not horribly hard to get. So I'll go ahead and show you. This is how I have my powers laid out. I have throw all the way, and we'll go a little in depth. So you can see I have the damage and force selected. The radius doesn't really affect me because really the only time I'm using this power is when I get real close, and I like to use the biotic combinations that you can use with the annihilation field. So then I have the recharge speed because again the duration really doesn't affect me, so I like to get it a little bit faster. And then also the swift detonation, because you can see it has the plus 30% combo damage and then the plus 25% recharge speed. So that's really helpful because you get the 25 there and then the 25 there as well. Again, the double throw, I guess it could be helpful, but for my purposes I like to use this. And then annihilation, have this ranked up all the way. I like to do radius so it affects more people. The damage attractor, mostly because I like to shoot people that are in my field, and also it's very helpful if you have melee because the 20% damage does count for your melee as well. And then the draining field, I know a lot of people use Vortex and it's really helpful, but I would say Vortex is the way to go if you're playing as more of a team-based, more of a crowd control type player. Vortex is definitely the way to go, and it'll lift unarmored, unshielded, normal sized enemies into the air. That's really helpful, especially if you're facing the outlaws, because it'll pick up all the adhees when they come in real close to you, so that can be helpful. But I changed it up. I used to use Vortex, but I've been playing more as a solo player lately, trying to carry teams and really just kill everything instead of just being more of a support player. So draining field is where I go because you can see it partially restores shields for all allies, including the user within 8 meters when an enemy affected by annihilation dies. Now that kind of goes along with the radius for me. I like having the ability to, have people be affected by that big of a radius, and then also if they die, I'm going to get shields back. So you can see it restores your shields by 30%, and that kind of plays along with my playstyle because I like to go in with that. And then also you can check out my barrier. In the barrier drain, you can see partially restored shields when each successful melee attack. So that's really helpful. You can go in melee and you're going to get 20% more shields with every melee attack that you successfully land. But also, you can do that, and then by the time you kill the person, you're going to get the 30% shield restored. So it's really helpful to run in, especially because this character doesn't have that high of shields. You can see 388 and 480 health, so it's not too high, it's not too bad, but that's really helpful for the playstyle that I was going for. You can see I have unyielding barrier on for the plus 30% max shields. Again, the barrier drain like we talked about, and then also saving barrier. This is also really helpful for this this playstyle as well, because if you're running in meleeing, I mostly melee people and also use pistols or close range weapons to get people down. It's going to be really helpful, if maybe you don't melee fast enough, you can't kill people fast enough, to have this as kind of a backup. So that'll boost you to 100% shields when your health goes below 25%. The active barrier, your shields restore 10% for a biotic kill. That doesn't really, I think that saving barrier is a far better thing to have, because I guess for me, I don't really kill people with my biotics too much. I'm usually just trying to get the initial combo explosions that you can get by using annihilation and then throw in lance. And you can see I upgraded lance just because I had the 2 points left over. So I just threw those on there because it wasn't really, I didn't think it was really worth it for plus 10 power damage. I would rather have this recharge a little faster so I can have more detonations. So that's really it as far as the build goes. And then I can show you, let's see what consumables I have on. On this I have cryo ammo 3 and ammo capacity 3. Cryo ammo I just like to have sometimes because you can freeze the people up, and it helps if you're facing a large amount of enemies and you're in a group. If there's one you don't really want to deal with right now, you can go ahead and just freeze him up and then focus on the other ones and then come back to it once you finish the other characters off. The ammo capacity I use because my most primary weapon that I use is the Hurricane. That's a really good pistol, some machine gun. So you can see it does 58 damage, 925 rate of fire. This thing eats through ammo, so that's why I have the extra ammo capacity. 40 round clip, 288 is the max ammo, so whatever 150% of that is how much I'm usually carrying. The accuracy is at 48 and the weight is at 24, so you can see we still have a little bit of room here on the power recharge. The mods I use on it, I use the pistol barrel 6 and the melee optimizer 8. So if you're not going to be really using too much melee, I would take this off and probably use, I only have magazine 1, but even that is almost a plus 40% clip size, so that would be helpful as well. If you want a scope, I don't usually use scopes, but for me, where this character solely pretty much based on close range and also a lot of melee to keep my shields up, it's always nice to do some damage with those as well. Another weapon that I would recommend is the Equalizer. Everybody knows the Equalizer is most likely the best pistol in the game. It's insane, and it's helpful because it's a recharge weapon, so you don't really ever have to get any ammo. I used to use it. It's really simply just personal preference. To me, I think they're both really great weapons, and they're both going to get the job done. But for me, I just like using the Hurricane a little bit more. The Talon's also a good choice. I don't necessarily like having Talon, specifically because the range isn't too great on it, and I like to be able, not that it is, the range is great on the Hurricane, but it's a little bit better, and I like to be able to maybe hit people a little bit farther away. So those are the only pistols that I would use with this character. As far as shotguns go, I haven't really delved too deep into the shotguns, but from what I have used, I know the Piranha is a great weapon. It's a good weapon for this character as well. A better weapon, in my personal opinion, again, this is personal preference, is the Hesh. You can see I have the Hesh 3 with shotgun barrel 5 and the optimizer 7. I know some people who don't like the Hesh, but like I said, from personal experience, it's done very well with me, and if I would be using the Hesh, I would definitely equip it with a targeting VI. You can see I don't have any good ones left. I only have the VI 1. But that's what I would equip it with, is because it helps, especially if you're facing the Outlaws. I know the Outlaws are, even after the update, are still at least my favorite enemy to play against. So it definitely helps when you get the Berserkers. If you have the targeting VI, you can use this Hesh and you can just put, all 10 rounds into their head pretty quickly. And that does a ton of damage, not to mention the amount of melee that you're going to be doing, and also the combo detonations to kind of stun them and knock them back as well. Also I have the adaptive war amp equipment. As you can see, I know a lot of people have the Juggernaut shield, and again, the Juggernaut shield actually is a pretty good choice as well, because you can see it gives you that insane 75% melee boost, which is great to have as well. This is what I have on right now, and actually I'm probably going to switch over to the Juggernaut shield. I honestly completely forgot that I had it. I was using the adaptive amp when I was playing more of as a role player, but definitely the Juggernaut shield I think is, don't quote me on it, but it's probably the better choice for this character if you're going to be doing kind of the play style. So I think if you want to go for a very powerful character that can do a lot of biotic damage along with melee damage and close range weapon, I think the Adept is definitely one of a class for you to check out, and it's extremely helpful for me because Also, you have to look at, it's only an uncommon character, so it is not too difficult to obtain. You know, you don't have to go through 100 premium packs and try to get, you know, the kineticist or the gladiator or anything like that. You can probably get it, you know, out of an advanced pack even. But so it's definitely a great character to play as. And then, like I said, the only thing that I would change if I was switching from more of a role player to a key player would be the Annihilation, switching over to the Vortex, because that's going to lift them up, and it's going to just crowd control all the enemies that maybe you just really don't want to deal with at the time. And it also helps, especially, like I said, to play against the Outlaw quite a bit, even after the update. Picking up the Adhees and the Raiders if they get too close, because those two enemies, you know, the Adhees can grapple you, and they can really take you down quick, especially in the Raiders. The Raiders do a ton of damage now. They did before the update, but they do even more now, and it's just nice to kind of have them getting picked up and then, you know, not really have to deal with them too well. And then actually we'll go kind of show you so you can see barrier. Shields restored by melee 20%. Shields restored to 100% at 25% health. Plus 55% max shields. Plus 25% shield regeneration. 25% health and shield regeneration delay reduction. And then a plus 80% melee damage. So I mean, if you want to think, you have the plus 80% there, the 75% on the Juggernaut shield, and then also the pistol barrel and or, you know, shotgun barrel that you're using. I think I'm using what was it, pistol barrel or pistol melee optimizer 8. Yeah, so plus 25% right there. I mean, those percents are like a ton of percents, so it adds up definitely. Yeah, so there's that, and then lance, you do 320 damage, 400 force, impact radius of 1, and a recharge time of 9 seconds. It is brought down a little bit because of the Annihilation, so it's going to be 50% slower. So 5.3 meters of the effective radius, does 63 damage per second. That's also very helpful. There is a negative power recharge penalty, which it sucks, but it's something. It's worth it, definitely, I would say. Recharge time of 8 seconds. It doesn't really apply to me that much, because I usually always have it running, so it's not like I'm casting it and then taking it down. Enemies take an additional 20% damage from all sources. It partially restores your shields for allies within 8 meters. Shields restored is at 34%, so that's really, really helpful, especially if you take that into consideration with you have the 20% barrier drain when you melee somebody. Again, all these little things, if you put them right in the right places, they really do add up. So you can see with throw, the force is at 1275, damage on world collision 375, a recharge time of 6 seconds, but also with the Annihilation, you gotta remember that. And then the plus 30% combo detonation damage. So all around, this is a very good character to play as. Decent shields, pretty good output as far as damage goes if you learn how to play with it correctly. Another recommendation I would give you is do not give up on the character. I know I played as it for a little bit, and I hated it when I first started, and then I dropped her and I never played her as her again. And then I was just playing one day, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna level this character up to 20, just to have something to do. I was grinding, trying to get some credits. I figured it'd be nice to actually level a character up. And as I leveled it up and kind of learned how to play as it and put some things together, I realized how great of a character it was. So I know I see a lot of people play as him. I know a good team strategy, again, if you're going to play as more of a role player, you can get 2 of the Asari Adepts on a team, also followed by a kineticist, and then a Angara, I believe I want to say the Insurgent. Yes, the Angara Insurgent. I usually don't play as him. I have a buddy who plays as him, and yeah, if you go in with 2 of the Asari Adepts as a role player style, and then the kineticist just to pound the people with the biotic damage, and then also the Insurgent, or actually really any character that has the shield boost capability. That's always a really good one to have, especially if you're working in close quarters together. So that is it, guys. I apologize I don't have the million credits like I was going to, but like I said, I really haven't been able to play too much. I was connecting to games for like half the game, and then it would just disconnect me every time. So after a while, it just became, I wasn't going to keep playing if nothing was going to come from it. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you liked it and you want to see more tips and more character builds and more reviews on weapons and things of that sort, go ahead and let me know. Also, go ahead and drop a like if you liked the video, and subscribe if you want to see some more content. Alright, have a good week, guys. Peace.